Here's a simple test for entrepreneurs to help you decide what you should never be doing again. It's the $10,000 per hour test. Now, there's a concept that most of our work is being done at a very low productivity level. There's the 80-20 rule. If you've been blessed to read Perry Marshall's 80-20 sales and marketing, he goes deeper into that. And he talks about the difference between $10 per hour work, $100 per hour work, $1,000 per hour work, and $10,000 per hour work. Now, this is something that exists across incomes. If you have a different currency, if your numbers are different, that's fine too, but the concept holds. And this is something we're going to use to build upon an exercise we did earlier. And if you haven't seen it, you can go back to it, where we looked at eliminating the things you just should not be doing at all. We did a time audit and we said, here's some things you definitely just should not be doing because they're low impact, low income. So we're assuming for the case of this, that you have already let go of things that are low impact, low income work from you, your team members. Nobody's doing low impact, low income work. And we're looking at the work that at least generates some income or does something, but it might not be what you should be doing best. First, you want to list all of your money making or money saving activities that you perform in a week. So there's certain activities you do that generate income, and there might be certain other activities where you would like to delegate that work to someone else, but currently you're saving that money. So as an example, from a money making side, that usually has something to do with your business. You're stirring up things, you're selling something that relates to one of your core offers or core services. The money saving activity might be something like you're doing your taxes because the accountant costs more than you'd like to pay. And maybe right now that makes sense for you financially. But when you start looking at it, we're going to have to see if that is going to be a great decision in the long run. So again, right now, list all the money making activities or money saving activities you perform in a week and just put them on a piece of paper. Once you've listed all of the money making or money saving activities you do in a week, we want to look at what is the hourly income you're making or saving from these. So this becomes very important and very critical, and it's not always easy to do. Some of the things are going to be very easy to put a dollar amount on because you know you could pay someone else to do it. So if you're editing your podcast and you know you could hire somebody to edit your podcast, whatever it costs to hire a person to edit your podcast at a quality level, that's what that work is worth. It doesn't matter that you could be billing at a higher level or earning a higher level. In fact, that's right at the core of what we're looking at. But if you're doing that type of work, you're not worth as much. So put it a different way, if a dentist is mowing a lawn, in most parts of the world, the dentist will make more money as a dentist than mowing the lawn. So even though it's a dentist mowing the lawn, the value of mowing the lawn is still only worth a certain amount because the dentist is not working in their area of high impact, high income. So once you identify each of these items and you put the hourly money earned or saved next to them, that's going to give us a chance to compare them and see where you should be investing your time. Once you've written down your activities that either make money or save you money, and you've identified how much money they make or save for you, I want you to rank them and sort them. Now, this is where ideally you're using a software. If you're using pen and paper, you can do it that way. But if you're using a software like Excel, you can hit your sort button. And what you're looking to do is look at why are the highest hourly income activities to the lowest. That doesn't mean you're going to get rid of every low income activity. Some of your low income activities might be high impact and they might be low income in the short run, but high income in the long run. Overall, though, we want to be getting a sense of what you're doing. Is it leading to income or is it not? Once you've identified your activities, put a dollar amount next to them and rank them, we want to eliminate any activity that loses money or gains nothing. And again, I want you to be very discerning here. Some activities will not make you money in the short run, but in the long run, they will retain customers. They will help you keep a customer. They'll lead to future customers. So doing a podcast interview on someone else's podcast or doing a YouTube video that educates customers might not make money right now. And so it might be kind of difficult if you've not done a lot of backtracking to see what's it actually worth today. What I'm talking about are activities that when you look at them, you say, wow, there's just really no economic value here, or it's a very extreme low amount of an economic value, or it's losing you money. Any of those things, I want you to eliminate from doing as soon as possible. Remember, you could always pick these activities back up later, but for right now, we're just going to take them off your schedule. If there's any activity you're doing that you've determined is not making you money and you can't decide upon it, you say, you know what? It seems like maybe it'll make me money in the long run. I'm putting in some time. I'm doing some things that maybe will yield results later, but I have these other activities that are yielding results now for sure. Any of those things where you're not so sure, let's postpone those for now. Let's postpone them for a week. And if nothing happens, let's postpone them for a month. And if nothing happens, let's postpone them forever. What we're looking to do here is, as entrepreneurs, we so often see opportunity and we believe that everything's going to turn into an opportunity. One of my friends says, Wade, I never met an idea I didn't like. And that's, as entrepreneurs, one of our gifts to see what's possible. One of our weaknesses very often is to think that everything we think could be will be. And so we want to look at the things that we either are saying, you know what, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, or you know what, gosh, I really don't even like doing this anyway. I don't really care about it. Maybe it's making me money. I'm kind of just doing it out of the fear of missing out. If I don't do this, will I lose money? Postpone that for now. And again, measure it in a week, a month, and a year. And if it's not moving the needle, just drop it. You can do better things with your time, either by reinvesting in other parts of your business or by simply enjoying life, resting, relaxing, recovering, and getting better at the things you already do. Once we've listed the activities you're doing and eliminated the ones that are either losing you money, that you don't like, that you don't want to do, or that are costing your team members time and you're not sure if they're working out, we're going to have some activities that are, let's call them low to medium income activities, some pretty high income activities, and then we're going to have your highest. Going forward, what I want you to do is only focus on your absolute highest impact, highest income activities. And usually those are going to be the same. Sometimes you might have a really high income activity that's not really making huge impact for clients, and that's okay. Stick with that. Sometimes you might have a really high impact activity that you know it's making a huge difference and you know in the long run it's going to pay off for you, or it's retaining clients. And maybe in the short run, you can't measure the economic impact of it, but you know it's going to be something, or it is something that makes a huge difference. Stick with those. But everything else, other than your highest impact, highest income activities, we want to be automating those with technology or delegating those to someone who can handle that competently. And so I want you to think about it this way. If you're doing $10,000 per hour work, do we really need you worrying about $100 per hour work or $10 per hour work? No, we don't. And you might say, well, that work needs to be done. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. If you continue pursuing your $1,000 per hour work or your $10,000 per hour work, you'll be generating enough income, if you're accurate, that allows you to either hire somebody to do that work for you, or you might decide that, again, you postpone it for a little bit if you're not sure. You see what happens, and if nothing explodes, nothing goes wrong, and you don't miss anything, then actually maybe you were incorrect. Maybe you didn't need to be doing that work at all. So to go back to my reference of Perry Marshall's book, 80/20 Sales and Marketing, there's a part of the book where he mentions that if you're spending 80%, 90% of your time doing low impact, low income work, that there's going to be a time, a small amount of time, where you're still doing very, very high dollar value work. Maybe you're working on an offer. Maybe you're designing a new product. Maybe you're closing a big sale or reaching out to a possible high dollar prospect. Those are the sort of things that you simply want to do more of. And those things don't always yield results right away. To use an idea that Stephen Covey would talk about, those things might be very important, but not that urgent. But if you continue to invest your time in those $1,000 to $10,000 per hour tasks or more, you're going to start seeing more results. You're going to find it's very easily to sort through the things that are not as important, to let those go and just focus on your highest impact, highest income clients. If you have any questions on this, I look forward to hearing from you. As always, I look forward to helping you create greater impact and income in less time. Do what you do best, so you can fully enjoy your family, your friends, your freedom, and your life. Thanks so much for listening.